Charleston's own gaming podcast. Wow. If only you were here before we went on. Hideo Kojima is hinting at a return to horror. Xbox boss responds to criticisms of his Nobody's Asking for VR. And, well, if you've seen that PS5 Dev kit, it's so ugly, but I so want it.
It's so questionable.
I know for a fact we're not going to get it, but could you just imagine for a quick second if that's what it actually looked like?
It's like, it looks like a Mad Catz ripoff. Like, you know how you can go into GameStop and buy like the PlayStation controller, but it looks like an Xbox controller?
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of what it reminds me of.
That's funny.
Or like if Mattel made PlayStations.
Cool. So what you been playing?
I've actually, for the most part, taken the week off. We did a lot of our runs early in the week, so I was just actually been watching shows.
All 9? You did 9 runs?
No, we did 2 Garden of Salvation runs. Did Dungeon ×3, our Riven ×3. Did a Nightmare Hunt.
Because when you do your Ribbon, it's 3 times per character, right?
Yeah. So basically, the way we do Riven is like, is you can input the wish in the wall and go straight to the boss. So we just do that. Run the boss, switch out characters. We leave 1 anchor so that way we can get back in. So we just kill her 3 times. We get 3 ethereal keys, and then on that 3rd run we kill her, and then we'll actually do the Queen's Walk, and then beat the raid, and then get 3 chests open. So
nice.
Yeah, we're still hunting that 1K.
You'll get it eventually.
Wow. But other than that, man, I just slept and watched TV.
Are you excited about the new season coming up?
I mean, we don't really know much about it because I think the reveal is actually on the 4th, which is Tuesday.
Yeah.
So it depends on what they say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't feel like it's going to be that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but I mean, if it's some sort of improvement, it's some sort of improvement. I'm okay with it. We're getting a lot of solar subclass changes, which is cool.
Okay, cool.
Hunter's getting some love that is well deserved. So I'm excited about that part. But as far as like content and stuff like that, I don't know. I'll just wait for the stream. I don't like to get too hyped on Destiny stuff because like it could always change. Or
yeah, it's definitely one of those things that could change at any second.
Yeah. So what about you? What have you been jamming out on?
Super funny. I got super bored, didn't have anything to play because I already beat Jedi Fallen Order, and so I was like, well, shit, I need something to play. So I realized that I had never finished the last Tomb Raider game, and I had went out and I had bought all the other Tomb Raider games to play, the following 2 to beat before the new one came out. And I did that. I think right around that time, if I'm not mistaken, I think Spider-Man came out too, or something else came out around that same time. So I had gotten halfway through it and I had stopped playing it and I never finished it. So I was like, all right, cool. I need to go ahead and finish it. That way I know I've finished up the series. I put that fucking game in and I had like 30 damn minutes left before the damn game was beat.
So you could have had this game finished.
I could have already had the game finished if I would have just sat there for another 30 more minutes and got out the tomb and went and defeated the final boss and been done with it.
That's hilarious.
So I was like, wow, that's let down.
Wow.
So then I decided to do something else, another game in my collection that I haven't beat. Because this was going to be my week of beating games that I had started but I had not finished.
Right.
Anthem.
Oh,
I had downloaded Anthem. Back on my system since the whole of breaking consoles.
I am so sorry. I feel like that Sarah McLachlan song is just playing in the background.
It's still buggy as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Were you rubber banding or no?
No, it was a lot more of... It wasn't really so much me. It was my enemies were freezing. They were dead. There was no health to them. They were just standing there. But you could see each enemy that I had killed was just... There's a dead enemy there, just standing. There's a dead enemy over here, just standing.
Oh, so that's still going on then. Okay.
Yeah.
Almost a year later, and it's still... Okay, that's fine.
I'm like, oh. And then I played like that one mission, and then I'm just like, it's going to take a lot of, I don't know if willpower will be the right word, but to make myself finish that game.
You can
because now it's one of those things where, because I'm on the part where Homeboy's fixing the suit, so you actually have to like go out and like just do random stuff out in the world for a little while until he's finished. And I'm like, I don't want to do random stuff. Just give me a mission. Let me do my shit. Let me go.
Yeah, you can usually go out and just do like one random event and then it's done. Man, I am so sorry you picked that back up.
So, well, there's nothing out right now. Like I said, it's so dry. So
actually, I played, believe it or not, Red Dead Redemption 2 for like 2 or 3 hours the other day.
That's not bad.
Out of just because like I didn't want to play Destiny. And, like I was waiting on stuff to watch, and it was my day off, and I was like,
honestly, I really didn't have time to play anything else. I mean, I'd like to go ahead. I've got BioShock for the Xbox. I have like all 3 of those, I believe. So I'd like to go ahead and finish that. But no, I didn't have time with Crisis on Infinite Earth coming up, and of course Black Friday just happened. It was the one day out of the year that I can be assholes to people, and it's okay. It's all right.
He's just stressed. It's fine.
It's okay. Be an asshole to you. Goodbye. So I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought I was about to get my ass beat up yesterday.
Oh yeah.
At work, So this guy comes in, and he's over in so I work in the computer department. So in the computer department, like each department is either one by itself or two has an add-on to their department instead of like each department being its own. So like home theater is home theater and appliances. Computers is computers and the gaming department. So me being in computers, I have gaming as well. So I walk over to computers, I walk over to gaming. And this guy's over in the PlayStation department. And I was like, hey, buddy, man, help you find anything? He looks at me and he goes, yeah, man. I'm looking for Mario Kart. You got it? I'm not seeing it over here on the shelf. In the PlayStation department? I legit looked at him and was like, are you serious right now? Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I thought he was going to punch me. I was a little scared there.
Maybe he doesn't know any better. I don't know.
No, there's no excuse, you dumb fucktards. Mario has been out since before I was born. I don't exactly know
It came out the same year I was born.
Okay, so there's no reason. Have you in your whole entire life, we are on almost PlayStation 5, so in all previous 4 PlayStations, have you ever seen a Mario game on a PlayStation? No, that is a Nintendo exclusive, you dumb fuck. No, and I would have deserved that punch, but... And then, of course, we have seasonal people, and I can say this because I'm listening to a fucking podcast, but I have seasonal people. That I have to like train. So the first problem with that seasonal person was there was this little girl. She's 16, and she got hired on for seasonal. So I'm legit training this girl. They didn't give her a blue shirt because they didn't have any. They had to wait for someone to come in the next day. So there's this random little 16-year-old girl following me around in the store with no Best Buy uniform on. So, like, as I'm having to go greet customers, they're a little caught off guard because it looks like just a random stranger standing behind me.
Are you going to help her?
Right, exactly. While the other 40% of customers in the store are thinking it's my daughter because she's 16, and apparently I look old enough to have a 16-year-old daughter.
Yeah, you could say that.
I mean, technically I could if I would have had her at 16, and she'd be 14.
Yes.
Yeah, but close enough.
Your math sucks.
Well, I mean, if I would have had her at 16, she would have had to have been 14. But
semantics.
Right.
Right.
But the next part that I go on to say is that Black Friday night, while I'm there till fucking 1 o'clock in the morning, one of these other little kids, somebody asked for Donkey Kong on the Switch. And the little kid, who I think he's like 17 years old, he goes, yeah, so I'm sorry, Nintendo doesn't make Donkey Kong for the Switch. All these Fortnite loving, this is what happens. They get stuck on Fortnite. They can't learn about where they came from. So that's the issue. Like, don't play video games unless you're going to learn where you came from.
So, is there Donkey Kong for the Switch?
Yes, Donkey Kong, Tropical Breeze or something like that. But he said Nintendo doesn't make Donkey Kong for the... I hate... Oh, my God. I pray that I wasn't that stupid at 16 years old.
We were. It was just about different shit. Because all this new video game stuff really just kind of came about when we were old enough to buy it. Like, when I was 18 or 19, 20, 21, somewhere in there, I think Xbox came out. So...
You talking about like the original first Xbox? Yeah.
Yeah. So everything's kind of blossoming as we're adults. And so like I feel like they probably just haven't had a chance to really... Because, I mean, these kids are probably born in 2010, 2008, you know what I mean? So
but they can tell me all kinds of shit about Fortnite dances, can't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's just bad parenting.
That's exactly what it is, and I blame the parents. You are 100% correct. I blame the parents.
Fortnite's a gateway drug to methamphetamine.
And then it's like I have so much more respect for the parents that come in and they're just like, can you please show me a game that I can buy my son? I'm tired of seeing Fortnite. I love those parents, and I get those parents so often. I had a guy come in Black Friday night, and he was just like, can you please show me family-friendly games because I have completely disobeyed my son from playing Fortnite. And I legit had to go in and grab my phone and show him like Xbox Game Pass and PS Now and the family category.
Wow.
Yes, it was great. I love when parents tell me that.
Well, that's good. Good for them.
But no, other than that, that's about it. I think now that Black Friday is over, I beat my Tomb Raider. You know, I got the couple more little shows to catch up on. I think I'm gonna redo my desk. I need to redo my desk again.
There you go.
So I got more wires to hang it down, and I need to buy a drill so I can drill a hole through my desk.
And for Thanksgiving though, actually I was at Chris and Corinne's and they hadn't watched The Mandalorian yet.
Like any of them, or
no, because they haven't had Disney Plus yet. So I got over there, we logged into mine,
right,
and rewatched it, and oh man, it's just as good watching it the second time. And this was in like true 4K, so it was like.
So it definitely
looked good. And then episode 4 came out Friday. Very good episode. Very, very good. A lot of focus on the little baby Yoda, I thought.
All right, buddy, you ready to jump into it?
Let's do it, man.
All right. Hideo Kojima is hinting at a return to horror. Kojima Productions direct standing release on PlayStation 4 this month, earning a 9 out of 10 in review and marketing a new era for director Hideo Kojima. 4 years after a split with Konami, before Death Stranding, Kojima was working on a new Silent Hill game called Silent Hills. A much-loved demo PT was released, but Konami ultimately canceled the game, much to the chagrin of fans. Now, years later, it's starting to look like Kojima is still thinking about horror again. On Twitter, Kojima has made reference to making the scariest horror game and he's watching horror movies to prepare. The film in question, The Eye, is not actually a Thai film, as Kojima claims. It's a work of a Hong Kong director's Pang brothers. Part of the film is, however, set in Thailand. As to make the scariest horror game, I watch the scariest movies in order to awaken my horror soul. The Eye is the Thai horror movie I rented when making PT, but was too scary to finish watching. The package is so scary, and I rented the disc only. Will I be able to finish it? Was a tweet from Hideo Kojima. From this, it is not clear whether Kojima is actually moving ahead with the horror game development or just exploring the possibility. In 2017, Kojima said that he did not plan on returning to horror, but PT continues to be relevant despite having been delisted years ago. Earlier this month, actor Norman Reedus said that he was okay with Silent Hills not going ahead, as it meant that he was able to work out Kojima or Death Stranding insisted. But since Konami holds the rights to Silent Hill, any horror game Kojima works on would now have to be different in any way, shape, or form. Kojima has not tweeted about the movie again since, so it's not clear whether or not he's going through The Eye or not, and whether or not it inspired him to return to horror or awaken his horror soul. Did you ever play that PT horror game?
No, I watched some gameplay of it.
I just watched some gameplay of it.
It's it was creepy. Like somebody did this thing where it's I guess on PC, like, because you can adjust the camera settings and stuff. Like apparently that lady ghost is like always
following you. She's always behind you. Yeah, that's actually that was like super cool.
Yeah. I guess she's like.
I mean, but you would never would have noticed though.
No, yeah, I guess the camera, what you see is basically what she sees too, because she's like literally right behind your shoulder. So, yeah, I mean, if I don't know,
should we watch The Eye?
No, I'm good. You can watch it. You can tell me how it is.
You're so boring.
Dude, Kojima just gets everything he's into just kind of gets under my skin, man. Like,
why?
Like the whole Death Stranding thing. Like,
he's like one of the most well-respected video game directors of our time.
Yeah, I mean that's fine and all, but I mean that doesn't mean like I don't know. I guess it was the comments made about how
dumb you are.
Yeah, because I don't want to play his stupid little piss simulator. and be a FedEx guy.
It's not that you don't want to play it. You're just too dumb to understand it.
Oh, shit, you're right. So yeah, so therefore, I'll be too dumb to understand anything else he releases.
Do you think he'll make a horror game?
I mean, probably.
Do you think we need a AAA horror game?
No. Because I feel like the more indie developers do better on those anyway. Because like, there's the one thing they're focused on. They don't have a bunch of different studios working on different stuff. They've just got the one studio, and that's the one thing they're focused on.
I mean, I agree with you. I do think they do it better, but I would love to see a AAA, whether it's Santa Monica or, Insomniac, somebody make like a really cool, really fun, great store horror game.
Who is it that did Dead Rising?
That did what?
Or not Dead Rising, Dead Island. Yeah. I mean, that was AAA.
Techland.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a AAA company that made a horror game technically. I mean, it's more zombie than anything, but
You said Dead Island, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because they got Dead Island and then Dead Island Riptide, I believe.
Well, there's just so many. You've got Dead Island, Dying Light.
Right. Do a horror game, but leave a fucking zombie out of it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And see, I thought Days Gone.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Days Gone was going to be that AAA horror game that we needed and wanted. That game sucked so fucking bad. I never even finished the game. I think I sold the game because I don't know if I ever told you this, but did you ever play the game?
Yeah. I think I'm probably about halfway through it.
All right. Well, do you remember finding her? Do you remember finally finding her after so long?
Oh, no, I never got to that part, Michael. Don't spoil it for me.
Oh, too bad. So you finally get to her, and you're,
talking about his wife, right?
Right. The whole entire game has all been about finding her and getting to her and missing her and loving her.
Isn't she part of the company that?
But you get to her, and she's like, "What are you doing here?" Well, obviously, we see who cared about who more in this relationship.
Right. Yeah, 'cause I could have sworn she was part of like the company that
she's part of the camp.
Oh, okay. I thought she was part of the company that created the whatever it was that made the.
She knew about it.
Gotcha.
But as far as but she was like real big and heavy into the camp. But yeah, she just like she didn't give a fuck that you were there, and I'm just like that point right there just completely turned me off of the whole fucking game.
No, see what turned me off was I can't fast travel if I don't have enough gas.
You and that fucking fast travel. You so damn lazy.
I want the straightest line. Because, like I said, if I spend too much time outside of the narrative, I will lose interest in the story.
These video game developers spend day and night developing these levels.
I'll go
just
back.
So for you.
I'll go back. You want to tell me a fucking story? Tell me a story.
50% story, 50% gameplay. Okay, you got to meet in the middle, Jeff.
No, I don't. There's plenty of games that have like Assassin's Creed. All you have to do is find the unlock place or the fast travel point, right? The lookout, whatever they call it.
How many times have you ever actually went back?
I go back in open world games a lot. Grand Theft Auto, I go back there a lot. Red Dead, a lot. Days Gone, not so much. Assassin's Creed, a lot.
I get lazy when it comes to fast traveling. I never go back. I'm like,
no, because why? Because you'd rather fast travel and get from the place that you need?
Because I'm lazy.
But fast travel.
So if I could have a choice, I'd rather be no fast travel. Make me work.
Oh yeah, see,
No.
Because in Death Stranding, isn't it like an hour and a half between one point to the other?
I have no idea. Probably.
Yeah.
In real time.
Yeah, that's what I heard, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're doing something gameplay related for like 20 minutes, and they're like, okay, well, the next cutscene's after you get to this drop off point, and then it's an hour and a half of walking. Because I watched some gameplay. The guy's like over was it Encumbered or whatever. They're just like overloaded, and he's walking like there's 2 or 3 seconds between each step, and he's just going that slow. I was like, I'd be done after that, man. Like, you get 2 packages.
You get 2. I am checking right now what the GameStop price for Death Stranding is.
Oh, like the used price?
It looks like it's. I can't tell if this is a used price or the. Oh yes, the pre-owned price. It's $54.99.
Suck my dick.
While the new price is $5 more. Oh.
So I might as well pay the $64.90. Or actually, I'll just pay the $60 on the PlayStation Store and get it that way. How are you going to charge $5 less than fucking retail price for a used game? That game's not even that good. Nobody's asking, like, clamoring for it at all.
I am if I wasn't poor. Moving on, Xbox.
Yes, please.
Xbox responds to criticism of his "nobody's asking for VR" comments. VR will not be a focus for Xbox Scarlet. Xbox boss Phil Spencer recently said that one of the reasons that Xbox Scarlet may not have VR support is because nobody's asking for VR. He also said that the VR market is progressing slowly, with none of the major VR platforms racing up the sales charts. Some remarked that Spencer's comments were dismissive to the wider VR community, and now the longtime Xbox leader has commented again to clarify his stance. A fan remarked on Twitter that Spencer was speaking dismissively about VR and suggesting it is a novelty. This person said that Spencer might have been wiser to acknowledge the success of VR so far and leave the door open for Xbox Scarlet with other Xbox platforms to support VR. Spencer replied that this is fair feedback. He added that he has personally played great VR games, noting that he got to try Half-Life, how do you pronounce that? Alex?
Mm-hmm.
Alex. Half-Life Alex over the summer before it was pronounced. Still, he reiterated that VR will not be the focus for Microsoft's next generation console. I've said publicly that I love how our industry has pioneered AI, physics, 3D, RT, VR, AR, etc. For us, it's about our focus on our innovations right now. I've played some great games. I've got to play Half-Life Alex in the summer, and it's amazing. It's just not our focus with Scarlet. In his earlier interview, Spencer said that he has some issues with VR as a platform, one of which is that he thinks that it's isolating. Spencer said that he prefers gaming experiences that are more communal and shared. Companies like Sony, Valve, HTC, Facebook, and others have invested in VR in a big way, but according to MPD analyst Matt Piscatella, it hasn't paid off yet. He said that the revenue from the VR game spending so far has amounted to a rounding error. In other recent interviews, Cyberpunk 2077 developer CD Projekt Red said that VR is a teeny tiny niche of a market, and Valve is only releasing Half-Life Alex as a VR game because it wants to boost VR hardware sales, according to CD Projekt Red. PlayStation boss seemingly took a jab at Spencer's comments about VR by saying Sony creates things that customers aren't asking for. Damn.
Sick burn.
That was good. I like that. Which I love that comment because you can take that comment either way. I mean, that can either be a good thing or a bad thing because sometimes we need things that we're not asking for because we don't know that we need them. Mm-hmm. And then there's other things that,
yeah, but does VR
like Google Stadia, like we don't need that. Nobody's asking for that, you know. So,
but I mean, is VR something that we don't know that we need?
If we can get it to a point to where it's great, yes.
Ready Player One status would be like the time where we
technically that's what I'm saying. Like if it gets to a point, then yeah.
Well, I mean, honestly, like Oculus does it better than anyone.
Yes.
As far as like if you're looking for something that you can actually play online with people, make it communal. Oculus Quest is definitely the way to go, or whatever, Oculus Rift or anything on PC, basically.
Oculus Rift is going to be your PC-powered one, while the Quest is like
their wireless one, right?
Wireless one,
yeah. So either way, I mean, I haven't really seen too many multiplayer VR games for PlayStation or Xbox, but I mean, I don't think we're at a point now where necessarily VR is something that's going to be something everyone wants to play. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't really see these AAA games really translating that well into VR. I mean, obviously, No Man's Sky tried it, but and then there's like the Blood and Truth. No, that's talking about the Until Dawn VR game. Rush of Blood.
Rush of Blood, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I mean, even still, like it's not even anywhere similar to the game. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just a bunch of jump scares, and you're on like a little, it's like a carnival ride. But I don't know. VR I give it like 10 more years, and I think it's gonna be something that we really want.
I mean, yeah, and you're probably right. But when I think of like an awesome VR moment, something that I truly want to play, I think of Have you ever seen? Sure, you've seen plenty of videos for VR World.
Yeah.
You know, you come in there with your little character and all that good shit, and you see other people laughing and joking around and moving about and things of that nature.
Isn't it like VR chat or something? Like
yeah, VR chat, VR World, yeah. But the way that I think about it is that same concept where you have your own character, your friends have their own character, and y'all play together in this AAA title-based game with these amazing Unreal Engine 4K looking graphics, not what you would actually see on VR chat. But just together, like, that would be some cool shit. Mm-hmm. You know? That's what I want. Is that something we're going to have anytime soon? Hell no. Mm-mm. Do I think Xbox could do it well? I would sure like to see them try. I mean, they did. I mean, they did video game streaming better than anybody else right now.
Right. I mean, there's obviously different pros and cons between each console, but or platform, I should say. But I mean, at the same time, like, when it comes to PlayStation, I don't think about VR. When it comes to Xbox, I don't think about VR. PC, it comes across my mind a lot more than it would like Xbox or PlayStation.
Yeah.
I don't know, but things could change. You never know. Still got 8, 9, and 10 PlayStations, or 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
That's right. Yeah. Do you think he was trying to be an asshole?
I mean, maybe. It's okay. So, like, the thing you have to understand about anyone in the public eye, they're getting asked the same questions over and over.
Fucking
and over
aggravated.
And over. I mean, that's probably the 20th time he's heard that question that day.
Probably.
You know? So he probably like a little bit of a snap. Unintentionally, like, asshole move, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he probably could have worded it a little bit better, but you're right. I mean,
probably,
and you're right.
He probably did the first few times.
You know, and yeah, you're 100% correct. He probably did word it completely differently, and then, you know, you caught him on a bad day. He might not have gotten laid last night. Right. Nobody's fucking asking for this shit.
Right. Is that how he said it, though? Was it
no, it was literally...
Nobody's... We're not doing... It's not something anyone's asking for?
Something... what was the actual quote? I wish... Yeah, nobody's asking for VR. Was his quote unquote?
No, I mean, it's just brutal truth, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and I think that's where a lot of people get it wrong. Is you take brutal truth and you take facts and you misunderstand them from being an asshole. No, there's a difference between being an asshole and being realistic.
Right. I think he's being more realistic, and people are just being super sensitive.
There you go. Boom.
He's not an asshole. He's just tired of hearing the same fucking question 20 to 30 times a day.
Number 3, why a Grand Theft Auto movie is unlikely to happen. We'd want to have complete creative control, says Rockstar. Grand Theft Auto is one of the most popular and successful video game franchises ever, but to date, no movie based on the series has been made. In a new interview with The Warp, Take-Two boss Strauss Zelnick said one of the reasons why is because the company doesn't want to hand creative control to a different company. If a GTA movie were to happen, Take-Two would want to find itself to have control. Zelnick said the company has the money to do this, but it's expertise in video games, not movies. Part of it is if we were to do something like this, we'd want to have complete creative control to make sure we express GTA in the way we wanted. And what that would mean, we'd need to finance the motion pictures, Zelnick said. We'd have the balance sheet to do it. We don't have the corporate expertise to do it because only a handful of people inside Take-Two have never worked in that business. I'm one of them, but that's not what we're due for a living. Zelnick previously served as president of Chief Operating Office for 20th Century Fox, where he oversaw production and distribution of numerous movies. He was only 32 years old when he was running Fox Films businesses. What the fuck am I doing with my life? Also in the interview, Zelnick said GTA is the most valuable intellectual property ever created by mankind. Owning and controlling the franchise and its future direction is very important to Take-Two, which is why Take-Two doesn't want to let an outside company make the movie. In a quote, it said, "Are we really going to let go of that and hope that someone, no matter how talented they are, will do a really, really good job with it. The interview suggested that Take-Two is missing out on money by refusing to make a GTA movie, adding that George R.R. Martin struck a lucrative deal with HBO for Game of Thrones. That might have been a smart business move, but Zelnick pointed out George Martin's books are not worth what Grand Theft Auto is worth. Damn. Zelnick also saying that almost exactly that Take-Two president Crosstar Sladoff said back in 2013 at the time that Sladoff said a movie based on GTA could make a lot of money, but it might be a bad idea in the long run. Film and TV executives have approached Take-Two over the years about making a GTA movie, but the company has always said no, and that doesn't appear to be changing anytime soon. Rockstar Game co-founder Dan Houser said in 2011 that Rockstar has explored numerous Grand Theft Auto movie deals, but has yet to be convinced to bring the series to the big screen. In 2017, Zelnick told MCV UK that Take-Two would consider allowing outside studios to make movies based on its franchise, but only if Take-Two could have some kind of creative control. We have licensed a couple of titles for motion pictures productions, and we don't have much more to say about that yet. Let's start from the beginning.
Let's talk about stuff nobody's asking for.
If a Grand Theft Auto movie were to happen, they would want creative control. Nothing wrong with that.
No.
I mean, they're the one that's done the game for X amount of years. Let them have their creative control.
Yep.
They're not wrong. It seems to me like they haven't done it because they don't feel like they're confident to do it and get it right. Because it's like he said, they are pros at making video games, not movies.
Right.
Which is cool. Completely understandable.
But I think there's like that huge stigma too about like video game movies and how there's none of them have turned out well. So I think that's probably like a big concern on their mind. But like if you've played any Grand Theft Auto recently, like they're all kind of like movies anyway, you know. Actually all Rockstar movies are like, or movies, all Rockstar games are that way,
right?
You know, they play out like a Naughty Dog game does. It's just they're more open world, that's all, and way more violent and vulgar. But I don't think anybody would want a Grand Theft Auto movie. Like if they said they were announcing a movie, would you go see it? Like, would you?
Are we talking based on the actual game itself, or just them producing a movie?
No, based on, because it's supposed to be. Like they're saying it's based on the series, right? So like a movie based on Grand Theft Auto. Like, would you go see that?
I feel like I already have. I feel like there's plenty of movies out there that essentially could be a Grand Theft Auto video game.
Dude, the whole premise behind Grand Theft Auto 5 was off the movie Heat. With Al Pacino and Val Kilmer.
Okay, Al Pacino. What about Scarface?
Vice City.
I mean, it's him, a drug lord, killing people and fucking bitches. Like, that's essentially Grand Theft Auto right there. Like, there are movies like that. No, I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me why you would need that. And I think they're doing a great job by just saying no. Like,
just let them do their thing. We're still waiting on GTA 6 to come out. Let GTA 6 come out and then start talking about your movies. We're probably another year and a half away from that anyway. Probably longer.
I want to go back to where it said that the interview suggested that Take-Two is missing out on money by refusing to make a GTA movie, adding that George R.R. Martin struck a lucrative deal with HBO and Game of Thrones that might have been a smart business move for Zelnick pointed out, but George R.R. Martin's books are not worth what Grand Theft Auto is worth.
It's not even that, though. It's like books translate into
that
movies.
I feel like was...
That was slight. But books always translate better into movies than a video game does. Because the video game already has a visual story that's represented on the screen, right? Books don't. Like, people want to see those words come to life. And, I mean, yeah, so obviously George R.R. Martin's going to get a better deal. Now, is Grand Theft Auto worth more than Game of Thrones? I don't know about that, but I don't know. It makes more sense to me, like I said, to have a book translate into a movie than more than a video game.
So I didn't do just the books. I did I was looking at what the actual worth is. So, and this is, I'm pretty sure this is the actual like series itself. But if we look at GTA, if you consider what GTA's share of profit is for the company, it could be estimated that the franchise itself is worth a range of $330 million up to around $600 million. Okay. But just everything as a whole, the Take-Two's current market valuation is $3.3 billion. Okay, now if we go to what everything as a whole for Game of Thrones, adding up 2011 and 2019 over 8 seasons from HBO, you're looking at $2.2 billion. So he's not wrong.
Yeah.
It's worth a whole $1 billion more.
Right, and you think Grand Theft Auto is going to, or Rockstar is going to sink all their money that they've earned off of that property into a movie?
Hell no.
No.
That wouldn't make any sense.
No, absolutely not. Because what's the average price of a blockbuster movie now? 250, 300 million?
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's the average one. I mean, we're not talking like Game of Thrones or say like Spider-Man or Marvel or Star Wars, where it's like $1 billion budget movie. Right.
Yeah. So for they would have that movie would have to be good enough to make $1 billion. And I don't think the name is going to carry itself enough. I don't
know. Because it's so large, it's going to be criticized so much more heavily.
Mm-hmm.
Zelnick is saying almost exactly what Take-Two president Carl Sladoff said back in 2013. At the time, Sladoff said a movie based on GTA could make a lot of money, but it might be a bad idea in the long run. Yeah, it will make a lot of money because everybody's going to flaunt to go see it because it's by Rockstar and it's by Grand Theft Auto and all that good stuff. But in the long run, it's going to be so cheesy, just like every single other damn video game movie that's ever come out.
Yep.
All right. A pic of the supposed PS5 Dev kit pops up on Twitter. Space Age gaming machine, or is it a pizza warmer?
It's for my toaster strudels.
After an illustrated image of the PlayStation 5 Dev kit appeared to be confirmed by a game developer last August, a new image, this time of the real thing, has appeared on Twitter. The image first shared by Twitter user Alcoholicos. I don't know your little screen name, buddy. And reported by Eurogamer, shows two supposed PS5 Dev kits side by side, each featuring the same V-shaped design we saw earlier in illustrated images. The Verge editor Tom Warren chimed in to confirm that those are in fact PS5 Dev kits and explain the odd shape. Yes, this is the PlayStation Dev kit. The reason it's large and V-shaped is to make them more easily stackable for devs who are running multiple stress tests. The reason the cooling is optimized to push air out of the sides in the center. There is no indication that the Dev kit design will be even remotely similar to the final PS5 design, and in fact, history has followed through on that during previous console launches. The Twitter user said in a later tweet that they received the image from a developer. The image also shows a PlayStation controller on top of the Dev kit, although it is also unclear that if the DualShock 4 or the new PS5 controller. At a glance, the handles of the controller appear to be slightly thicker, which lines up with what the info that we've previously seen about the PS5 controllers. The text on the Dev kit's faces and is fortunately too blurry to read. The PlayStation 5 is due out sometime shortly before Christmas of 2020. You can read everything we know about the PS5 for an exhaustive rundown of details, or check out the new About How scene tagging might let you share way more details about the gameplay with friends, or see everything we know about the PS5 controller online. And I did get that from IGN. I told you once, I'll tell you again, it is the ugliest thing that I have ever seen in my life as far as a game console. It reminds me of something that you would see out of like an old Nickelodeon show.
Yeah.
I don't know if you probably never watched like Drake and Josh or whatever back in the day. But in one of the episodes in Drake and Josh, he wanted the newest game console that was on the market. And that was all he talked about through his whole show. Like he was going to beg his grandma for it, and he was going to go out and get a job. And I don't remember how the whole premise of the show was, but he finally got it, and his brother made a bet with him. He's just like, I bet you like a whole week that you can't play video games, and then he bet his brother, well, I bet you can't go a whole week without eating junk food, and then a whole bunch of like weird shit starts happening. But the whole point of that is the game console that he got from his grandma was called the Game Spear. And it essentially looked like a see-through bowling ball with like a bunch of mechanical hardware pieces inside of it. And that's what it was. It looks like something you would see off some type of show, just like, it's not real, it's a prop.
Right.
But we don't ever those dev kits are nothing that we ever see. They're not ever.
Right, and I kind of get the concept of like what he was saying is like, oh, if they're running multiple stress tests, they can stack them up on each other.
Right, yeah.
Like, I guess I get it. This is hideous. Like actually seeing like an actual kit in person, this is gross.
I want to know what the actual reason is behind making dev kits look a certain way. Like, one, if those are not going to be your final designs, then why design it that way to begin with?
Well, they said for the stress test so they can stack them. That's why it's like that one thing.
You couldn't make a square box and stack square box with vent holes on the side of them and stack those?
Hey, I'm
right. That's what I'm saying.
I'm
like,
playing devil's advocate here.
So I don't really understand like why they have to look a certain way to run. Like, I'm sure there's a reason. I'm just saying I don't know what those reasons are.
I mean, I really hope it doesn't look anything like this because this, it's almost like they went back on design. Like this looks like it should have came out 20 years ago.
Or 20 years in the future.
Oh God! In an alternate
go,
timeline
see?
where 20 years ahead is still 20 years back.
Exactly. See, you get it.
I get it. Like, okay, look at this stuff kit or actual design. This compared to that, like that looks way better.
I want that.
That looks cool.
That is what I want. And if you're wondering what we're looking at, it's like the original like dark blue dev kit that we saw, not this black and gray one that they're showing now.
Because look, like the vent holes, like it looks like they light up.
Yeah.
Right, and the buttons look like they're heat sensitive. Right. Mm-hmm. Like that looks really cool. Like I would be into that. Not that.
Mm-hmm. And that's why that's why when that first picture came out, I was like, I'm okay with this. Like, I want this. I would buy that.
Yeah.
Whatever this other thing is that they have going on, that's just stupid.
I mean, it's close though.
Scroll over.
It's like an Instagram filter.
Right. Exactly. One more. There we go.
That's actually kind of cool.
I like the color.
But PlayStation, a white PlayStation, you haven't seen that in, I mean, other than like
the PS4 Pro they just released.
No, I'm talking about like bundle kits.
Yeah,
like an original release PlayStation, like, and it still has like that PlayStation Gray kind of thing going on in the back. Like,
have you ever actually like went through and seen like all these different like fan arts of what like if they could make a PS5, what it would look like?
Yeah, I've seen some stuff. Yeah,
some of them actually don't look that bad.
I really like the graphic, like the sticker graphics that people come up with and put them on there. I think those are really cool.
Like, what do you think of that one right below your pointer finger?
Right here?
Yeah.
Honestly, oh, dude, if we could get this one, like the analog sticks on the controller light up, the D-pad lights up, like that would be awesome. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the real one.
I mean, like, I would be super cool with that, like how it lights up like that. That'd be super neat.
Now, what is this? What is that little square for right there, do you think?
Holographic display? I have no idea.
So Emperor Palpatine can come
go kill that. Looks like a suitcase.
Yeah, that one's gross. I mean,
ew, that looks
but
like
I want to point
a
this
dildo.
Out. I want to point this out. So this touchpad is actually a second screen.
Yes.
I think
kind of like how the Wii U was.
Did it have that? Like a second screen on the controller?
So the Wii U had like the Switch style looking controller with the screen. It was a big old screen that was in the middle.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I think like a second screen on the touchpad would be kind of cool.
And it would be.
It would make the touchpad way more significant than it is now. Because right now in most games it's just a touch to open the map or touch to open menu.
I want the holographic projector like what you see on Star Wars to like come out of my PlayStation or my controller.
Well, you weird. Little ahead of that.
But wait, we're ahead of it or behind it?
Or yeah, that's what I meant. So I mean, like, that's cool. Like, so like quick text for messages. Like
that controller does not look comfortable.
No, but I'm talking about just the screen.
Oh yeah, no, you're right.
So you can plug in the keypad adapter, right?
Yeah.
And then you can type out messages to your friends. That you could do that for like you could like look at battery life.
Friends or little shits.
Yeah, or all your hate mail, but like battery percentage for the controller instead of having to look at the side menu. I think that would that would be very beneficial. But then that would make that controller 150,
so bulky.
Make it like $150, $200 controller on top of like a 60, and they're getting rid of the light bar. So, I mean, I don't know. We're still way too early to be able to get any type of real opinions on it.
Right.
Like most of this is just speculation and kind of like hopes and dreams. But for the most part, as long as we don't get the actual dev kit, I'm fine. Anything but that, I'll be okay.
All right, number 5 and last and final story for the day. Google promises refunds for Stadia Pro subscribers who bought December's free games. Google will issue refunds to Stadia Pro users who bought Tomb Raider and Farming Simulator 2019. Both games will be free starting December 1st as part of Stadia's Pro subscription. Google Stadia Pro users will get Tomb Raider and Farming Simulator 19 for free as part of their subscription. Both titles went up for sale on the platforms, so it's likely that a lot of the people bought them. There was no way of knowing that the games would be free in December, so it's rather unfair for those who made the purchase. Google has now promised refunds for Stadia Pro subscribers who bought either or both games. A Stadium community manager issuing a statement on the platform's community forum said that because of the proximity between the launch of the platform and the announcement of these titles in Stadia Pro, we're happy to assist you if you would like to request a refund. Stadia's official policy states that the only games that have a playtime of 2 hours or less are eligible for refund. Additionally, one has to ask for it within the 14 days of purchase. In the case of Tomb Raider and Farming Simulator 2019, Google says that it is willing to relax these norms. Do note that the process isn't automatic and you do have to apply for a refund by going to the Stadia Help Center. If you are a Stadia Plus subscriber, it is best to hold off on any purchases until next month's free titles have been announced, as Google might not extend the same courtesy again.
But what if they keep doing that, though?
Then their demise is just going to happen faster and faster.
Right. I'm just thinking like all those new games, like, oh, hey, well, this game is whatever, $15, and then but hey, then it's going to come out as a free game next month. So don't have your lineup set, dude. Like this, and this is why I cannot stand this whole Stadia thing. And this is just another thing adding fuel to the fire.
I mean, I don't agree with you a whole lot. No, really, 9 times out of 10. When you do typically make the comment, who needs this, who's asking for this? But this is, I agree wholeheartedly on this. Why do you need cloud gaming? Why? What's the point? There's no point on it whatsoever. You are trying to fix something that's not broken.
Yeah, nobody's, like, I'm not sitting there clamoring at work being like, oh, man, I wish I was playing Destiny right now. Like, that's how like...
I mean, I do think that sometimes, but like I know that I'll play it when I get home.
Exactly. Like, just wait it out, man. Like, there's no sense in jumping ahead that far, and then like, because like that's going to cost you your job.
You're creating temptation that doesn't need to be there.
Exactly. So fucking sit down, Google.
And Google is so good at other things. Like, why? You know, and it's kind of like how Amazon last week. Amazon wanting to get into that. Gaming, streaming bullshit. Like,
I can guarantee at least the founders packs would show up on time.
Oh yeah, no doubt. You're 100% right about that. All right, buddy. Well, I think that about wraps it up for today. Yes, if you enjoyed everything, which just like we did, I know today, that was pretty fun today. I enjoyed. Wasn't a whole lot of articles, but they were filling.
You gotta dig into them when you can get them.
Yeah, no, you're right. All right, well, if you stuck it out whatever for this long, kudos to you. We love your beautiful faces. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and catch us every Wednesday. Peace.
Later.